there's actually a train stop at the at the Appalachian Trail, in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
You can just get off the train and start walking.
Welcome to Car Free in Tennessee. I'm Jonathan, and today I'm with my friend
Christine Izarry.
Go ahead and tell us about yourself.
So I'm originally from Europe. I spent the first 9.5 years of my life in West Africa, in Senegal. I've been more than one thing, if you will, French and German, and now I've been here 40 plus years in the United States, and I'm also American.
So you were born in Germany?
I was born in Germany, and
how
when
old were you when you
I
went
was
to
two.
Senegal?
It wasn't
Okay.
even. I learned how to speak French and German at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Do you feel like you speak German or French better?
French,
French,
because
really?
of school. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. Anyway, what does it have to do with cars? It has to do with the fact that I lived in a variety of places, and I've traveled a lot, and I'm old. I'm 69 years old. So I've been, to a bunch of places before they were choked with cars because of my age.
You've seen places change throughout your life?
Well, maybe one example would be simply Key West. I was in Key West in early 1978, and I just got off the Greyhound bus, spent the day there, went swimming, got on another bus, and it was just really fine. You could just go down all the keys all the way to Key West. In 2000 or 2001, I was with my husband, and we were in one of the upper keys, and I said, "Oh, let's just drive down to Key West." And it was just not fun at all.
The driving experience?
The driving and even being in Key West. Key West. So that's just one of many examples where I keep again and again hitting upon this. There are too many cars everywhere, no matter where I go.
Where's the place that you've been that is the most pleasant and the easiest to be outside of a car?
The most pleasant to be outside of a car. New York City with reservations.
New York City?
Yeah, because it has... you can go everywhere. There's no limit. But if you want to do it comfortably, you have to walk.
So today you rode your bike here.
Yes.
What's your preferred mode of transportation if you had to choose?
Probably trains.
Trains?
Probably trains, yes. Uh-huh.
Where
trains.
has the best trains that you've been?
The best trains, Germany back in the day. So in the 70s, the trains were pretty much everywhere. You could go take a short train ride to a hiking trail. In fact, you can do that in New York. If you want to start the Appalachian Trail in New York, there's actually a train stop at the Appalachian Trail, in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
You can just get off the train and start walking.
Yep.
Yeah, so there are a few places like that in America where you can do that. Very few. And but in Germany at the time it was common. You didn't need to. And the advantage of taking a train or a bus to a hiking trail is that you don't have to walk a loop. You don't have to go back to your car.
Oh, sure.
So you can do hikes that you can't do if you are just one party with one car.
Sure. So you've lived a lot of places, you've visited a lot of places, you have a lot of points of reference. How do you like Nashville?
So when I came to Nashville, the first thing that strikes you coming from New York, say, "Oh, it's tiny, it's so small, it's so cute." And I still hear people say that who are coming from Seattle or New York, especially. They say, "Oh, no problem. I can go everywhere." Especially coming from New York, where I was walking so much, it didn't matter. So There were no Google Maps at the time, but I had a lot of paper maps, and I studied how I could get to places. I wasn't planning on driving at all, so I studied how to get from place to place. And my daughter was still small enough that I could easily take her with me.
And did you have a car at that time?
No.
No.
I did run into problems. I tried to go to Radnor Lake on a bike. Don't do it. Do not. And I had to jump into a ditch a few times. Mm-hmm. Don't try to bike to Radnor Lake. Actually, it was after I drove, because then I did buy a car in 2004, and I had a car for 5 years. Mm-hmm. And so I'm glad I had the experience of driving. We left for a while, went to Europe, just my daughter and I. I sold my car because we left. We left and I needed the money at that point. When we came back, and for good in 2012, I hadn't decided not to buy a car. But as time went on, I had a couple of jobs without health insurance. I thought, it's kind of risky to drive around these dangerous streets without any kind of health insurance. And also cars are expensive, and also I have to park it. We didn't really have good parking where I lived at that point. I got a job actually near Vanderbilt at the bookstore, so I could walk or take the bike. I mean, we just didn't have a need for a car at all.
What do you think of the Nashville bus system?
You can't go. I mean, so few places you can go.
The coverage.
Yeah, it's not as if Nashville has never had a good system. Belmont now, for the first time since in more than 100 years, has no transportation, no transit, no bus, no trolley, no nothing. But it had a streetcar,
right.
Belmont, and
we used to have a pretty good streetcar system 100 years ago.
I mean, those of us who are interested in this topic, we've looked at the map and say, "Whoa, what happened?"
Do you think that the public transportation system will get better in Nashville in the future?
We just had elections, and so there is certainly the intention to better the system. But and I'm reasonably optimistic. Mm-hmm. But I've been here long enough, and I've worked at the newspaper, I worked in the library, so I have a lot of information, despite my origins, my European origins, that I see that a lot of times you can't really get anything done in Nashville unless there's a private partner.
What's one thing that you would change about the public transportation system in Nashville?
The one thing that all of us pro-transit, public transit, agree on is that we need a separate funding. We need a dedicated funding for transit. I've followed a webinar with I don't know what his exact title is, Mr. Bland. He said it himself.
The WeGo CEO?
Yes, Mr. Steve Bland. He said our system will be better if and when we have dedicated transit. And I'm thinking that the new administration is going to try to push that.
What would be the advantage to the dedicated funding? How would that improve the system?
You wouldn't have to renegotiate everything every year. It's very difficult to plan if you don't know if what your budget is going to be, or if your budget is dependent on so many other crucial things.
So how do you get around Nashville?
So I get around by bus. I walk and I take a bike. Mm-hmm. I've noticed that now I only go to these high traffic areas when I have a specific reason to go, and otherwise I tend to go back streets. From here, for instance, you can easily go down Fairfax, through Elmington Park.
So the infrastructure has a really big influence on where you move.
It's determining, yeah. Sure. Especially now, I no longer have a small child with me. I can go wherever I want. I work at the end of a bike lane, essentially. In Green Hills, I go the back way.
Yeah. And tell me about your bike. What bike do you have?
So I have a Trek. I used to have a giant bike.
It's the Trek Verve 1, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Do you like it?
I like it. I feel very protected by it because it's sort of it's not a fast bike. I don't try to be fast at all. I try to be slow. Being slow is fine with me. I don't have any need for speed at all. So, in fact, that's an interesting thing. That one of the attractions of e-bikes is to be able to go faster. And to me, that's not a good reason to have an e-bike. I think, fine, you have hills, it gets sweaty, you don't have a shower at work. Sure, have an e-bike. But just to go faster, but that's me. I can see that it's part of the American thing, go fast, break things,
I think
and all that stuff.
I think it is a part of American culture. We like to go fast, whether it's on a bike or in a car or anything like that, but certainly not on trains. We don't go fast on trains.
Except trains, yeah.
That's the one area where we don't go very fast.
So many people use GPS now. They don't look at big maps on paper, or they don't spread out maps on a big table, say, to look how things relate to each other. So they don't have a good sense of the geography. There is a certain pleasure in navigating a place. It doesn't matter whether you have a car or not. It's the idea. We have navigated the world. We humans have navigated the world for centuries, and I think navigation is good, and navigation skills are good. So I don't like the idea of outsourcing or stopping and being completely at the mercy of something that tells me whether to make a left turn or right turn or whatever turn. For me, navigation is super important. Yeah.
Lost the art of navigation, huh?
We haven't lost it yet, but it's like using a calculator to just add, do additions.
Do you have any final thoughts? One last thought you want to share?
Just that I'm optimistic. People want to be mobile and move around and not be trapped.
Sure, sure. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it, and thanks for watching.